Study while others are sleeping, work while others are loafing, prepare while others are playing, and dream while others are wishing. With this beautiful thought, a very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are in a good health. I, Shreya Jadhav, welcome you all to my e-learning channel, and today we are going to learn English, Grade 10, Unit 3. Two stories about flying. Over here, the first chapter, His First Flight, written by Liam O'Flaherty. So let us know something about the author. Liam O'Flaherty, born on 28th August 1896, died on 7th September 1984. Liam O'Flaherty was a major Irish novelist, short story writer, and must be ranked as one of the foremost socialist writers in the first part of 20th century, writing about the common people's experience and from their perspective. So, dear students, let us go through the introductions for the answers. Prose name, His First Flight. Author's name, Liam O'Flaherty. Genre, short story. Summary. Since the earliest times, humans have dreamt of conquering the skies. Here, young seagull is afraid to fly. How does he conquer his fear? So this is the introduction which you all will be writing down in your fair books, and whenever in exams you are supposed to start your answer with introduction. Summary. So let us go through a brief summary of the chapter, and then we will go through the reading and the explanation of the chapter. The young seagull was sitting alone on the ledge because he was afraid to fly. His two brothers and a sister had already known to fly. His parents were trying to encourage him, but he was unable to do so. He thought that his wings wouldn't support him, and he would go down miles into the sea. 24 hours passed, but no family members came to him. His parents were teaching their other children the skill of scheming. His brother caught his first herring, that is a type of a fish, and was eating it. His parents were proud of him. His entire family was on the opposite cliff and were making fun of the seagull. The sun rose and he started feeling the heat and was hungry because he hadn't eaten anything the previous night. He tried to stand on the alternative one leg, closed his eyes and showed that he was asleep. However, his mother was continuously watching him. She was eating a fish, and a sight of food maddened him. He kept calling his mother for the food. She picked a piece of fish and flew across to him with it. She came closer and remained still over there, motionless, with a piece of fish in her beak. He dived to reach for food and he fell downwards. He screamed, but soon his wings opened and the wind rushed against him. He felt a bit dizzy, but then he realized that he was soaring, means he was ascending the flight. Soon his family encouraged him and called him onto the water. When his feet started touching the water, he got a bit nervous, but then when his belly touched the water, he started floating. His family members were praising him and offering him a scraps of dogfish. And finally, the seagull made his first flight. This is the summary of the chapter. So now we'll go through the reading of the unit. So let us start the reading. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sisters had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, so he bent his head away and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So, over here in the introduction, in the starting, the description of the seagull and his family has been done over here. The young seagull was standing at the ledge and he was all alone. The seagull was having two brothers and a sister, and all three of them have learned how to fly. But somehow this young seagull was very afraid, and he thought that if he would go down the ledge, then he would fall beneath and he would die. And because of this thing, he was so much afraid of it that he went back in his little hole where he used to sleep at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away. He failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother came around. So what happened? That it was a bit that his family members also supported him a lot, but still he was very afraid. And although his brothers and sister were having shorter wings as compared to this young seagull, but still he was facing this difficulty, and he was afraid that it wouldn't be possible for him to fly. And then his father and mother had came around. Calling him to shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So, what happened? His mother and father came around him and they started screeching, means in a very sharp voice, they started screeching and upbraiding him, means they started criticizing and started scold to him. And they threatened also that if he would not be able to come out of this ledge, come out of the edge, then he would die starving. But he thought at initial stage that life is more important than moving away from here. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around raising a proud cackle. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on a big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. So what happened over here? Now this was 24 hours ago, the whole incident which took place. And within 24 hours, his elder brother had learned how to get a soft, fine sea fish, and he had hunted it down. He caught that fish, and the parents were teaching to both the brother and sister how to perfect their flying and how to catch the fish from the sea. The whole family encouraged his elder brother when he caught his first fish, and in the morning, the whole family walked on a big plateau that was opposite where the young seagull was standing, and everybody were taunting him that he is really very coward. The sun was now ascending the sky, placing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. So, what happened now as the sun was rising? It was dawn, and the sky was blazing, and his face was on the southern side. At that time, he started feeling the heat because he hadn't eaten anything since the previous night. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, means he came to the edge corner of that rock, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other. Now, what he did, he was really very hungry. So, he came at the edge of the mountain, or we can say ledge. He was standing over there, and he was standing only on one leg. And he had closed one of his eyes, and then he was standing over there and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing, their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening, means he was making an effort to maintain the feathers of on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again she tore a piece of fish that lay at her feet, and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. So now what happened? He was trying, or he was pretending that he was asleep, but none of his brothers or sister or his father took notice of him. They all were ignoring the young seagull, but it was only the mother. Yes, mother nature is always like that. They are very much soft hearted and kind hearted. They do not want their children to suffer much, but sometimes the mothers are supposed to be so strict enough, because they are the one, or they will be the one who will be brightening their children's future. The same situation was over here, but the mother was standing and she was observing. Now a mother was tearing the fish, that meat she was tearing, and when the young seagull saw that, he became really very mad. That this made the young seagull really very mad, because the way the mother was tearing the meat or tearing the food, he was attracted to that thing, and now he sharpened up his beak. Ga ga ga, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Guacol, she screeched back derisively. Here derisively means